Good evening from San Ignacio Town. With the 9 o'clock news, I am Patrick Jones. In the headlines, Belize and Guatemala reach deal regarding the Sarstoon. Government revokes Sarstoon prohibition law. Illegal logging within a national park reported in Stan Creek, and Toledo forms Softball Association. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories coming up after these messages.
Deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions. Walk into any one of our Central TV and Internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into one of our Central TV and Internet's offices to get free installation, free modem, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque. Or give us a toll-free call at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Hey, hey. Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
Here now is the news in details. Belize and Guatemala have reached agreement on the way forward as it relates to the Sarstoon. Minister of Foreign Affairs Wilfred Elrington and his Guatemalan counterpart Carlos Raul Morales completed a round of bilateral talks in Istanbul, Turkey on Monday and Tuesday, with both sides committing to peace and good faith going forward. An official release says that both sides agreed on the importance of the 13 agreements signed in Plasencia in December 2014 that have contributed to the development and strengthening of their bilateral relations. Belize and Guatemala also agreed to work more in the development of building confidence, especially between the armed forces of both countries, including the possibility of having joint training for the troops responsible for patrolling the adjacency zone. Regarding the Sarstoon itself, the Belizean and Guatemalan foreign ministers recognized the urgent need for and committed to working on the design and development of a mechanism for cooperation in the Sarstoon River, which should include the participation of relevant institutions of both parties and be coordinated by both foreign ministries and the participation of the Organization of American States. At the conclusion of the meeting, both foreign ministers congratulated each other for the agreements reached and expressed their commitment towards dialogue and the creation of a positive bilateral agenda in line with the advancement of the process mentioned in the special agreement to submit the territorial, insular, and maritime differendum to the International Court of Justice signed in December of 2008. This, of course, hinges on the outcome of referenda on the ICJ issue in both Belize and Guatemala. And now that the agreements on the way forward regarding the Sarstoon has been reached, the government of Belize has taken the first step in showing good faith by revoking the prohibition of movement on the Belize side of the Sarstoon. A government press release this afternoon announced that GOB has asked Governor General Sir Colville Young to sign a statutory instrument revoking the Sarstoon prohibition SI. Government's decision comes as a consequence of the agreement reached in Turkey between Belize and Guatemala regarding the Sarstoon. That agreement commits both sides to start work now on a formal cooperation mechanism that will respect Belize's and Guatemala's respective use and navigation of the Sarstoon. While the formal mechanism is being worked on, the two sides have informally accepted a situation in which there will be unrestricted traffic for Belize's military and civilians along the Sarstoon. The government of Belize has announced that an official funeral will be given for former Minister of Government and former member of the National Assembly, Honorable Eligio Joe Briceño, father of the leader of the opposition, John Briceño. The official funeral will be held on Wednesday afternoon at the La Immaculata Church in Orange Walk Town. Tomorrow's funeral service is scheduled to start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Interment will be done at the Piedmont Cemetery. Eligio Briceño was a former Minister of Energy and Communications and was an area representative in Orange Walk Town. 2 men from Silkgrass Village in the Stann Creek district have been arrested and charged for illegal logging within a national park. The charge follows an incident on May 18th when police, park rangers, and a member of the Mayflower National Park conducted a joint operation targeting illegal logging inside of the protected area. As a result of the operation, 35-year-old Carlos Palacio and 45-year-old Donald Wewe were arrested and charged. Of note is that last week, while our TNC crew was out in rural Cayo, we observed a number of trails which we were told were used for illegal logging. Best information to us is that persons would obtain required permits to do timber extraction, but they would often violate that permit by taking out more material than is covered by the permit. Also, we are told that sometimes trees will be felled in Guatemala and then pulled across the adjacency zone into Belize, where they are then cut into logs and turned into lumber. There was a traffic accident last night on the Hummingbird Highway near St. Margaret's Village. 2 people, a man and a woman, were hurt in the incident when the Toyota Hilux they were traveling in overturned and ended up on the side of the highway up against a rock wall. The driver of the vehicle told a TNC crew member who arrived on the scene shortly after the incident that an oncoming vehicle with bright lights swerved into his lane, causing him to lose control and crashed. None of the injuries appeared to be life-threatening, and the 2 victims were taken to the Western Regional Hospital for medical treatment. A family member of the victims confirmed to TNC News this morning that they will be okay. While the victims of last night's road traffic accident were thankfully going to be all right, several persons who had stopped to render aid at the scene, including myself, were left shocked at the behavior of one man at the scene. While we were rendering first aid and helping the victims contact their family, a man drove up in a small pickup truck, parked, got out of his vehicle, and without even acknowledging anyone, went to the crashed vehicle and started to rummage through the bags that were in the pan of the crashed vehicle. He found some fruit, helped himself to some grapes, and then turned around and asked if anyone wanted. A young lady and I, both astonished by what we were seeing, said, "Sir, you really shouldn't be doing that." The man also opened the back passenger door, looked inside, and commented about what he saw inside. Again, we voiced our concern that he really ought not to be doing that, and so he shut the door and walked away. It was another lady at the same scene who also intervened and told the man that the Bible says that thou shalt not steal. Truly an amazing development to witness. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. We will have more of the day's stories for you right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Rain. I'd like to tell you about the biggest thing to hit the local real estate market, the Belize Real Estate Show. Whether you are a real estate agent or property owner looking to rent or sell your property, the Belize Real Estate Show can help. We offer high-quality production with stunning slideshows, voiceovers, cinematic videos, and even an extended walkthrough hosted by yours truly. Call the number on your screen and allow all our viewers to dream of renting or owning your property.
Welcome back to the 9 o'clock news. 2 people were injured early on Saturday morning when a small car went out of control and slammed into the concrete wall on the perimeter of the San Ignacio Market. Photographs obtained by TNC News show the wreckage after the injured persons had been extracted with the help of the fire department. The official police report says that just after 4 o'clock on Saturday morning, 34-year-old Patrick Gordon and the 23-year-old Gardena Tech had just crossed the low-lying wooden bridge in the car when it went out of control and crashed. When police arrived at the scene, they found both victims of the incident trapped inside the wreckage. Police say Gordon was unconscious while Tech was crying out for help. With the assistance of the fire department, both persons were removed and transported to the San Ignacio Community Hospital for medical attention. Tech sustained a broken right leg and a broken left wrist, and Gordon was seen with a cut wound to his left knee and complained of pain all over his body. Police investigations continue. Police in Ladyville Village, Belize District are investigating a burglary that happened on Friday. 34-year-old Melissa Ellis told authorities that she arrived home on Friday morning and could not get in through the front door of her house. When she finally entered, she realized that the lights were on and the doors to her entertainment stand were also open. Ms. Ellis said she then went back outside and called the police for help. When authorities arrived and escorted Ms. Ellis back into the house, they discovered that it had been ransacked and that several electronic items, jewelry, groceries, and personal items, all with a total value of $17,550, were stolen. Investigations continue. A man from Trio Village in the Stan Creek district was maimed on Saturday night in an attack in the village. 33-year-old Jose Koch was chopped multiple times during the attack and his right hand was amputated. Police say that around 11 o'clock on Saturday night, Koch, who works as a watchman, was at his workplace when he was attacked by 2 men. Jose Koch remains hospitalized in stable condition at the Southern Regional as police investigation of the events continue. There was a drowning on Sunday evening in the Orange Walk district. The victim has been identified as 31-year-old Bartolo Torres. The high school teacher was along with the 2 other men who had gone on a fishing trip across the New River when the tragedy occurred. Police say that around midday on Sunday, as the 3 men were paddling a small dory on the Lemonal Canal, the craft became unsteady due to heavy winds and the 3 men jumped into the river. Torres, according to the police, could not swim and he went underwater and did not resurface. Police investigations continue. We break now from crime news to something much more upbeat, and it takes us to the Sacred Heart College football field where 2 big games in the ongoing Westline Female Football Tournament were played on Sunday. Games featured Belmopan Lightning Strikers versus Bully Tree FC. That game ended in a lopsided finish with the ladies of Belmopan scoring 9 goals while blanking their opponents. Game 2 was much more competitive. It featured Belize Coast Guard versus Gentle Touch. That game ended 1-0 with the Belize Coast Guard picking up the big W. The tournament is scheduled to continue in 2 weeks' time at a venue yet to be announced. 8 teams are taking part in this tournament. Belize is beautiful. Whenever that statement is made, whether by locals or visitors, it somehow evokes a certain sentiment. The teeming flora and fauna of Belize are second to none, and the breathtaking vistas truly give credence to our national anthem, which boldly states that nature has blessed us with wealth untold. Recently, our TNC crew experienced a part of the Cayo district that many people only see in photographs or on postcards. Here is a portion of our experience through the lens of our video journalists Ryan Lizarraga, Jose Collado, and Trey Cab, and the rest of the TNC crew. And we took up the proprietor of Jungle Splash Eco Tours on his bold assertion and offer. The signature tour offered by the San Ignacio-based company begins at its office on Burns Avenue. From there, the roughly 1 hour-long trip into the Maya Mountains provides the visitor with an awesome view of Belize's pristine jungle cover and wildlife. But nothing along the scenic route quite prepares the visitor for what lies ahead.
The name of my tour company is known as Jungle Splash Eco Tours. And basically, the tour we did today, it's our signature tour, which is known as the Jungle Pontoon Waterfall Adventure. So this is the vessel we're on, and we go on this lake 3 miles down that way, and we visit 3 different waterfalls, of which we have optional swimming, tubing, cliff jumps involved. We also have picnic lunch in front of them. We also have the option of having a barbecue on board, but it all depends on the guest. And this one behind us here is the Privasión River, which actually comes from Mountain Pine Ridge as well. And the headwaters for this are Rio Pools and Dos Vaqueros, which is the same stream that runs next to Blancanooks Lodge, Five Sisters, the same one. So all the water that we're floating on today, it's actually the exact same water that runs right through San Ignacio. And so all of this feeds into the Macal River, which is down this way. The one we're floating on right now is the Vaca Dam, which was actually completed about 4 years ago. So it's the most recent one built. About 10 years ago, roughly, was the second one built on the river, which is the Chalillo Dam. It's actually by far it holds the most water, and that's found up in the Mountain Pine Ridge. And just about 4 miles upriver from where we are right now is where the Moyahon Dam is located, which is the first dam that was built here about 20 years ago roughly. In Maya mythology, they believe that the second generation of humans, the monkeys are the descendants of them.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
So what is he doing right now? Is he calling a mate or
Well, you see, for the most part, they're territorial. So if you heard earlier, there was another troop nearby. So two of the main reasons they'll howl like this is.
Hey, that's not like water.
You could actually hear 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah? They're just being territorial with each other. Or at times, they're actually predicting the weather change. After the right, there's 4 or 5 of them coming right down like this diagonally. They blend in so well with the rock. Can you see them?
What are they? Yeah.
Bats.
No way.
See them? Actually, in Belize, we have approximately 70 different species of bats. We have insect bats, we have fruit bats, we have vampire bats, and believe it or not, we also have fishing bats. Bats that actually fish. You'll see them at night just raking the top of the water. As a matter of fact, before this river was done, it used to be a world-class whitewater river. It actually had a 1 Class 6, 2 Class 5s, 3 Class 4s, and a whole bunch of 3s, 2s, 1s right down. So a lot of white water.
What's this area right here?
From here all the way down.
Guests who have experienced the majesty of Belize's inland waterways via this tour have nothing but rave reviews.
The way we came up with this idea is actually my uncle and I. And he's the only other one who has a pontoon boat on this lake here. So it's both of us who conduct the tours on the lake itself.
Okay.
But it's also another pontoon boat, so we try to keep that standard of service, right? And the same type of experience. Because it's not the same if you ride an ordinary boat and just cruise down here, or if you have a pontoon boat which you could walk around, look at birds, wildlife, have a good time, dip your feet in the water, different nature. We aim for tourism, for international tourists, but we are very happy to accommodate our local clientele. And like I told you earlier, we also offer a special discount for local people. Because I love locals to get to know what's in our own backyards. As you saw for yourself today, this is amazing.
That sustainable approach to this bold venture is a plus and can only mean that the future is bright. Along the upper Macal River, visitors are bombarded with an array of flora and fauna, rock formations, and the jungle wildlife that makes the leisurely pontoon ride an experience that is beyond compare. Another part of this paradise, which complements the experience of the Jungle Splash Eco Tour, is an eco-village set neatly under the jungle cover.
It's a self-sustaining, totally off-the-grid village, and people from all over the world have bought into this and building houses here, either to live full-time or come here part-time of the year for vacation.
What are the rules for living in this village?
There are no rules per se. You gotta abide by certain guidelines in terms of what you're building. We're trying to preserve as much as possible of the rainforest. For instance, every hardwood tree we cut down, we have to plant 3 new ones. And you're supposed to be as eco-friendly as possible with in terms of using water, using electricity. We all have solar here. There's no power running out here. We have septic systems. Some of them have composting toilets, and we have a garden that's basically an organic garden. There's no pesticides being used there. We have chickens for meat and eggs, and people are also building on their own lots. They're also planting things. Like I've planted plantain, bananas, coconut, mango, avocado, and some other fruit trees.
Now, if I wanted to buy into this eco-village, how do I go about doing that?
You would contact developer Louis Tremblay in Canada, or his sister Candy, and well, I would look it up on the internet too. They have a beautiful website, betterinbelize.com.
The internet is a great place to gain good insights on the beauty and the thrill that awaits the adventurous visitor on the inland tour of Western Belize. But there is nothing like being on the ground, or in this case, on the river, in beautiful Belize. A full documentary on our visit to the Upper Macal River and surrounding areas will air in the coming days, right here on the National Channel. This is the news on TNC 10. Still to come, a look at the weather. We'll be right back.
Would you like to know more about the flora and fauna of Belize? Do you enjoy gardening and need some tips? Then tune in to The Garden Show with Belize Botanic Gardens every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, only on the National Channel. Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
Seasonably warm weather conditions continue to prevail across the country. Here is a look at the forecast for the next 24 hours. that is a look at the weather with information provided by forecaster Ronald Gordon at the Belize Weather Bureau. To summarize the news, here are the main points again. Belize and Guatemala reached deal regarding the Sarstoon. Government revokes Sarstoon prohibition law. Illegal logging within a national park reported in Stan Creek. And Toledo forms a softball association. With the headlines, we end this edition of the 9 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us. I am Patrick Jones. Have a good evening and a good night.